Hi friends, Scott Brookins here. I have a question. Is there someone you need to reach out to today? Today it's easier than ever to do that. We have, our smartphones. You can send a text, you can get on Facebook and send a message, you can do a video, you can make a phone call even, old school. Um, but is there someone in your life, and maybe they're not even here, maybe they've passed away, that you need to maybe say thank you to? Or someone that you just need to reach out and say, hey, I was thinking of you today, hope you're doing great. um, I was praying this morning. One of my trips to Eastern Europe, I was in Hungary doing concerts, and in a lot of different churches and schools and some nightclubs and several other places. But at one morning I went to a senior living, or more of a probably nursing home or long-term care place, and in their kind of dining hall, I did a concert there, and they brought in most of the residents that could come down, and many of them were in wheelchairs. Some had walkers or canes, and so I did a concert of music, and I shared some of my life and what God's allowed me to do, and then shared the gospel message of Jesus Christ. And some of the residents couldn't make it down because physically they weren't able to, but they had speakers in each of their rooms, and so they heard the concert. And so after about an hour of this, they left, and so I asked the director of the place. I said, could you take me to the rooms where the people were that couldn't come down? And some of our supporters had made us some bracelets that we used to give away to children or adults, and they had colored beads on them, and it was a simple bracelet that each color represented part of the gospel message. And so as we were going around some of these rooms of the residents that couldn't make it, downstairs to go to the concert, through the translator I would introduce myself, they'd introduce me, and I'd say hello, and what's your name? And some of these people were sleeping or laying down, and some were sitting up, and gave them the bracelet, told them that God loved them, and tried to share a message with them. And we went into this one lady's room, and she was laying down in her bed, and she wouldn't look at me, but I could tell she was crying. And this young lady that was my translator, she introduced me to her, and I said, well, can you ask her what's wrong? Is there something I can pray for her about? And so she translated that this lady was crying. She was crying because I was the first person to come and visit her in over a year. I don't know her situation with her family members or anything, but she was crying because a stranger from America, somebody that she never knew, would never see again, came and took the time to come into her room and say hello. And boy, it was really touching. I was very thankful and grateful that God allowed me to be there and do that for her. And it just makes me think of how many people in our world do we need to reach out to and say, hey, thanks, or I'm thinking of you, or I'm praying for you. And so I want to encourage you today to do that. I love, I guess, old school. I love taking a pen and paper, and sending a simple card, or just taking a sheet of paper and writing a note to someone and thanking them. And maybe there's someone in your life that's not here anymore. Maybe a mother or father or a grandparent or aunt and uncle or a friend or a brother or sister. And maybe you just need to thank them for something that they did in your life, and maybe you didn't do that as when they were still alive. And so write that down on a piece of paper. Get it out of your system, translate it from your mind and your heart to a piece of paper, and express your gratitude to them. And then you can throw that away if they're no longer around, but otherwise mail it to somebody, or send someone a text, or get on Facebook and send them a message. It's going to do you a world of good, but imagine the impact it's going to have on their lives. Maybe it's a teacher or a coach that you've had when you were in elementary school or little league or high school or college, that would just love to get a letter from you saying, hey coach, hey teacher, thanks for being a part of my life years ago. So I want to encourage you to do that today. Encourage someone else, make someone's life better today. So hope you have enjoyed this. Like it and share it. I think there's some value here. And also feel free to comment down below what you did. Maybe say, you know, I sent a letter today to so-and-so, or I texted or called someone. I'd love to hear that. And go make it a great, amazing day and inspire someone else to do the same. God bless.